right, deadline day to pay your taxes. It's almost here, but you won't believe how long you work before you get to take home a dime every year.
That's right. A new report shows Americans will have to work until April 24th for the United States to be able to pay off all federal, state, and local tax bills for the year.
Look at that. We got 24 more days to go. Stuart Varney joins us, and you are incredulous. We hate that. We just hate that we have to work so long for the tax man before we're working for us.
You work 114 days this calendar year before we've all collectively paid off all the taxes that we have to pay. 114 days into the year before we start working for ourselves. That's one day later than last year. Okay.
And if you happen to live in Connecticut or New Jersey, you're working all the way into May.
Well, some of us do live in Connecticut and or New Jersey. And
right.
Yes, May the 13th is your tax freedom day in Connecticut and New Jersey because local taxes are particularly high in those two states. If you're in Louisiana or Mississippi, it's April the 2nd. But when you've already gone... Tomorrow is your tax freedom day.
Right.
So it depends where you live.
But, you know, we got to pay our fair share. You know the deal.
Fair share, Brian?
Listen, I'm
going to ask you a moral question.
I'm trying to play the other side. Everyone's got to pay their fair share. And by the way, everyone's paying more than ever. This year, Americans will pay $3.28 trillion in federal taxes. And by the way, Stuart, these numbers are high. $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes plus $4.85 trillion.
So $5 trillion.
So the money is flying into the Treasury.
It's record receipts for the United States Treasury. It has never been higher. And at the same time, we've got a deficit of $500 billion. So you bring in all this, a ton of money.
Annually. We have that cumulative up to 18 trillion.
18 point something or other, yes.
And ironically, at the same time, really in a disheartening way, the head of the IRS, the Commissioner John Koskinen, saying they're so undermanned that they're ignoring 60% of the phone calls.
Ignoring them.
At the IRS.
They don't even pick up the phone.
I don't hear anything.
And this is for people who call in for advice. I need advice on filling out my tax form. 6 out of 10 don't get through because the IRS is not picking up the phone.
Sure.
Now, far be it from me to defend the IRS, but they have had their budget cut, and they have been made the police force to look after Obamacare. They've got a lot of extra work, and they want more money.
Now, what would happen, though, Stuart, if we simply didn't pick up 60% of our calls from the IRS?
You wouldn't be sitting there.
We'd go to prison. You know, the thing that is so frustrating about Tax Freedom Day is when you lay it out so brilliantly as you had, where you show that we've gone 114 days working for the government. If the money was well spent, we would not feel so terrible about it. But we know they're just blowing a lot of it.
How many stories have you had on Fox and Friends in the past week about blowing our taxpayer money on some crazy conference or other, or some overspending, or some wasteful spending?
We've had 2 of those already today.
People wouldn't be so angry about whatever it is trillion worth of tax revenue if, as you say, Steve, that money was really well spent.
Sure.
This was a dynamic, prosperous society because of the taxes we were paying. But the opposite is true.
Stuart, you better save some energy for your show, which goes on for 2 hours, hour 9 to 11. You're going to do an hour just on our Lego bed over there.
How come you can wind me up so successfully?
I know, you get so wild. What do? Take a nap after this hit? It's unbelievable.
Choose one.
I love how you framed this one for us, though. It's really to think you're
unlike the
working
other
that
ones, is what
many
she's saying.
days.
114 days.
Just to pay off those taxes.
If you